Walk with me through Philadelphia in the 18th century. Blacksmiths hammering metal outside their shops. Men drinking in taverns and trading gossip in the streets. Ships docking at busy ports. Cries for liberty that would lead to the American Revolution. And the voices of Ben Franklin, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and others whose debates, convictions, and compromises helped shape a nation. But long before Jefferson included the famous phrase about the pursuit of happiness in the Declaration of Independence, he and the other founders were struggling to pursue happiness in their own lives.
Ben Franklin devises in his notebook a beautiful means of keeping track of conquering each of his faults, of hewing to each of these virtues on a weekly basis.
In his early 20s, Franklin had been reading classical Greek and Roman philosophers like Pythagoras, Plutarch, and Cicero, and scanning popular magazines for advice to print in the Pennsylvania Gazette. Based on his reading, he concluded that the secret to self-improvement was self-examination.
Our founders were realists. They knew a thing or two about the good parts of human nature and also the worrying and bad parts of human nature.
The pursuit of happiness, they believed, wasn't about feeling good, it was about being good. And the reason it was a pursuit, it was something you had to work on for life. I'm Jeffrey Rosen, President and CEO of the National Constitution Center. In each episode of Pursuit, the Founder's Guide to Happiness, I'm joined by a leading historian of American history and by the award-winning filmmaker, Ken Burns.
Heretofore, in the history of human beings, they have been subjects under the authoritarian rule. We're proposing something altogether new called a citizen. And in order to be a citizen, you have to be virtuous.
The founders were far from perfect. At times, they've shamefully betrayed the ideals they set for themselves. But all of them agreed that the key to a healthy republic begins with how we commit to becoming better people over time. In fact, John Adams
continued to learn, to read, to seek out new information. He was quite interested in learning about new cultures and places and foods and religions and ways of life. His diaries until the end of his life will discuss his farming during the day and then what he was reading at night.
As we explore their wisdom and confront their flaws, we can find keys to a deeper, more meaningful happiness today. Ken Burns will share his own project of reading and self-reflection that he's practiced daily for the past 10 years.
Like, we always want something. We want peace, we want inner tranquility, we want the new refrigerator, we want the new car, the new clothes. But actually, it's the giving up of that that creates the space for there to be the kind of environment for real work to begin.
Join me for Pursuit, the Founder's Guide to Happiness, from the National Constitution Center and PRX Productions. We'll focus on one founder a week and one of Benjamin Franklin's virtues, starting September 8th.
Great. Well, we wanted to give everybody a little sample of the podcast that officially dropped today. My name is Patrick Spiro, and I'm the CEO of the American Philosophical Society. And I want to welcome all of you here to Benjamin Franklin Hall for what I think is a very, very special night. And I really want to thank Jeff for approaching us to ask if we'd be willing to host the premiere of his song cycles. Once Jeff asked me, the answer was a clear, well, first I said, tell me more about this. But I knew I was going to say yes, even before he had to explain, because it sounded so innovative and creative. Now, I see a lot of new faces out in the audience tonight. I thought I might tell you a little bit about the Philosophical Society, but I know we're all here to hear Jeff, so I'll try and be as brief as possible. So how many people here have been to the Philosophical Society before? All right, so I don't have to say too much. We were founded by Benjamin Franklin in 1743. Franklin, of course, was an inspiration for Jeff and his book as well. Franklin's idea in 1743 was that there needed to be an institution that would bring the leading thinkers in America together to share what they're learning in their own communities with each other, and then bring this learning back to their homes where they can improve their own home communities. The idea was, as our full title is, the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge. And it's the advancement of knowledge that has driven us for now almost 300 years. Today, we serve that mission in 5 programs. The first is we offer over 300 grants a year in all different disciplines. We believe that knowledge is universal, that any field can provide important information and knowledge that will improve society, including, of course, music. We have an incredible research library and our librarians with us tonight. Our library, we began to collect in the days of Franklin, and today it's grown to be over 14 million pages of manuscripts. We have 70% of Benjamin Franklin's correspondence in our vault. We have the papers of 7 Nobel laureates, and we have the 8th promised to us on the way. We believe this is the most of any independent research library in America. We have an incredible collection of Native American linguistic material. We have materials that relate to over 650 different Native American communities. And we're in the process of digitizing this material and digitally repatriating them to these communities where they're using this to reawaken dormant languages and revitalize cultural practices. We also operate the longest continuously operating press in North America. We've been in operation since 1771. I've been claiming that it's the longest continuously operating press for over 10 years, and no one's corrected me, so it must be true. We also hold regular meetings here in Franklin Hall throughout the year, and this is the kickoff of our fall semester, and I'm so thrilled that it's Jeff that will be doing this in this very different type of performance for us here at Philosophical Society. And then finally, we elect members who have, through a lifetime of accomplishment, advanced knowledge, made incredible contributions to the advancement of knowledge. And our motto on our seal is nullo discrimine, because we believe all knowledge can be useful. And we have over 100 Nobel laureates that have been elected, dozens of Pulitzer Prize winners. But again, we're in all different fields. We have Yo-Yo Ma, the cellist. We have Martin Scorsese, the director, because we believe all knowledge can be useful. And we only elect 25 members a year. And I'm proud to say and happy to say that one of our newest elected members is Jeff Rosen. Jeff was just elected in April. It's every April that we make elections. And he was elected, as many of you probably know Jeff, for his incredible contributions as a constitutional scholar, but also for his transformative leadership that I think we all have seen happen over the 12 years that he's been at the National Constitution Center right around the corner. I have to say that it's such a pleasure to have Jeff as a neighbor and a friend here on Independence Mall. So I also think what's great about tonight is that the nature of the society, this idea that we are driven by curiosity, by creativity, by interdisciplinarity, really comes together tonight. Because here we have a leading constitutional scholar who during the pandemic started to read the classics and start to think about what this meant for the Declaration and the meaning of the pursuits of happiness, to today then turn all of this scholarship and learning into a musical performance. What a wonderful reflection of what the life of the mind is supposed to be and what the American Philosophical Society is supposed to embody. And that's why Jeff Rosen is such a great member to have as part of the American Philosophical Society. So with that, Jeff, I'm sure you want to come up and say a few more words about this project.
Thank you so much, Patrick. And hello, friends! It is so wonderful to convene with you here in Benjamin Franklin Hall, and thanks so much to Patrick and the American Philosophical Society for hosting. As Patrick mentioned, the APS was founded by Ben Franklin. An early president was Thomas Jefferson, who's elected in 1797. He serves for 17 years. And as Patrick shows in a wonderful book called The Other Presidency, Jefferson was far more interested in his presidency of the American Philosophical Society than in his day job as president of the United States. In addition to Franklin and Jefferson and Washington, who were gazing down on us in their original portraits, many founders were members of the American Philosophical Society, including John Dickinson. Now, John Dickinson was known as the penman of the Revolution for his letters protesting the Townshend Acts in 1768, and he also wrote the lyrics for America's first popular song. According to Isaac Goldberg's Tin Pan Alley, which is a great history of popular music, historians are generally agreed that the first really popular song in the English world of the Atlantic shore was the Liberty Song, which was first published in the Boston Gazette in 1768. Dickinson was also a founder of Dickinson College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And in 1784, he and Benjamin Rush drafted the college's Latin motto, which they adopted from a poem by Virgil. And it's translated today as, "Freedom is made safe through character and learning." As it happens, in November 2024, I was at Dickinson giving a talk for the classics department on how Franklin and Jefferson agreed with Virgil that freedom, like happiness, is made safe through character and knowledge. And every year after the lecture, the music department at Dickinson holds a concert. And I listened transfixed as I heard James Martin, who you'll hear in a moment, sing art songs by Black American composers that he's collected as part of his life's work. And after the concert, I introduced myself to the extraordinary pianist, Jennifer Blyth, who's also a music professor at Dickinson, and I thanked her for one of the most beautiful recitals that I'd ever heard. And then I blurted out in my enthusiasm that I'd recently completed 2 song cycles on the pursuit of happiness. Jen seemed surprised that I appeared to know what song cycles were, or at least I thought I did. It turns out there's actually a debate about whether there are songs on a common poetic or musical theme. But I knew the models, the great song cycles by Schubert, like the Winterreise, or Schöne Müllerin, or Mahler's Songs of a Wayfarer, or Song of the Earth, or the 20th century English composers I've always loved, including Vaughan Williams' Songs of Travel, and Fincy's Let Us Garlands Bring, which set songs from Shakespeare. Jen said she was always intrigued by new compositions. She invited me to send her the songs. 9 days later, I was exhilarated to receive her reply. She heard and appreciated the style I was trying to achieve in both cycles, more of an English art song approach for the Golden Mean and a Gilbert and Sullivan style for 12 Titans. And then she introduced me to her colleague, Greg Stroman, who's right here tonight. And he brilliantly arranged my music and lyrics. As you'll hear, Greg is a master of text painting, and his marvelous accompaniments are in creative dialogue with the melodies and the lyrics in every song. I wrote the 12 songs in the Golden Mean to accompany each of the 12 episodes in the podcast that we're launching today, Pursuit, the Founder's Guide to Happiness. Like the 12 chapters of the Pursuit of Happiness book, each episode in the podcast focuses on a different founder and a different virtue, and it was so exciting to interview Ken Burns. You heard him and the historians in the trailer, and I can't wait to share it with you. Thanks to the superb team at PRX, they're here tonight for bringing the podcast to life and helping us reach listeners across the country. And I'm so grateful to the John Templeton Foundation for their support of the podcast and other meaningful civic virtue initiatives at the NCC. I'm also grateful for the opportunity of a lifetime to collaborate with Jen and James, who perform the songs and incidental music on the podcast so beautifully, and with Greg, who plays the trombone over his own accompaniments for the Pursuit of Happiness theme song. You heard that on the trailer as well. And I'm also grateful to so many old friends and teachers for making the trip to Philly to be here tonight, and I want to give a shout out to Ms. Mariana Houston, who directed our 8th grade musical at Dalton. And also to Professor Michael Berthold, who is the great English teacher who first taught me how to write clearly and to love epic poetry. Thank you, Michael. The Pursuit podcast, which drops today, is the first of a series of launch events for America's 250 that the NCC is hosting throughout the fall and 2026. Next week, we're hosting Akilah Marr and Justice Barrett at the NCC and launching an amazing new interactive Declaration of Independence and civic toolkit for America's 250. Please check it out at constitutioncenter.org/America@250.com. And now it's time for the Golden Mean. I wrote the first song in this cycle for episode 1 of the podcast, and I wrote it so I could remember the chart at the end of Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. Aristotle has a series of virtues. For each virtue, there's an excess and a deficiency, and he says we have to practice the golden mean, and I can never remember them, and I hope the song is easier to remember than the chart. Here is the great baritone, James Martin, with Jennifer Blyth at the piano, singing the golden mean.
I might need my music. Oh, this is gonna go well. The sun is rising in the sky, and the golden mean delights my eye. Neither excess or deficiency, the golden mean, it's here to be seen. Don't be scared or rash, be courageous. Courage knows what not to fear. Don't be stingy or extravagant, be generous. Give as much as you can bear. Don't be humble or proud, just be modest. Modesty is the color of virtue. Don't be secretive or talkative, be honest. Honesty means your lies can never hurt you. Don't be apathetic or angry, be composed. Don't be indecisive, 'cause everybody knows that indecision or impulsiveness defeats the goal of achieving calm self-control. Don't seek quarrels or flatteries, seek friendship. Friendliness will best protect your back. Don't be morose or absurd, be good-humored. Good humor includes wittiness and tact. Don't be slothful or greedy, be ambitious. Ambition earns honorable fame. Don't be self-indulgent or insensible, practice temperance. Among pleasures, that's the golden mean. The golden mean, the golden mean. In the sky it's there to be seen. The rising sun's the image of the one and only golden mean. The golden mean, the golden mean. In the sky it's there to be seen. The rising sun's the image of the one and only golden mean. Self-mastery, work to achieve it consistently. Calm self-mastery, work in every minute for tranquility. Work in every minute for tranquility. This is a song about a mix of emotions. What are the emotions? You decide. They're in my voice as musical motions. I'm feeling on the inside, you're hearing on the outside. Take anger and calm, mix them up in my song. I'm feeling the healing of a golden balm. Take anger and calm, mix them up in my song. I'm feeling the healing of a golden balm. Before they met, they were two separate emotions. One was gentle and the other was spleen. I blended them up in a singular motion, temperate and balanced like the golden mean. Controlling your emotions takes work every minute. Gotta work hard to stay easy and light. Keep working hard every hour, every minute, to stay in the zone of calm delight. Calm self-mastery. Work to achieve it consistently. Calm self-mastery. Working every minute for tranquility. Working every minute for tranquility. When you judge, your mind gets all distracted. You're just not focused on your rhythm and rhyme. When you judge the way someone else has acted, you're giving yourself a pass for wasting time. Judge not and avoid distraction. Judge not and keep your focus clear. Judge not, control your thoughts and actions so they're totally focused on the now and here. When you judge, your mind races with turbulent emotions like anger and jealousy, haughtiness and fear. Instead of staring someone down, lift yourself up with your devotions and still your mind like the waters clear. Judge not and to conserve your energies. Judge not and purify your mind. Judge not. Be still the waters, judge not, and access the divine. Instead of judging others for heaven or damnation, ask yourself, you're using every minute of the day. And you're avoiding facing up to your own procrastination. Well, get to work. It's the only way. Judge not. If your anxiety's mounting, judge not, it's time to greet the dawn. Judge not, it's time for self-accounting. And now I've finished my judge not song. Temperance, sincerity, courage, humility. These are the virtues I pray for today. These are the virtues I pray for today. I woke in the night, I groped to the light, I opened my heart and soul to virtuous insight. And I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray for industry. For industry alone can justify me. Industry alone can justify me. Prudence, frugality, justice, tranquility. These are the virtues I pray for today. These are the virtues I pray for today. I woke in the night, I groped to the light, I opened my heart and soul to virtuous insight. And I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray for industry. For industry alone can justify me. For industry alone can justify me. Order, moderation, courage, resolution. These are the virtues I pray for today. These are the virtues I pray for today. I woke in the night, I grope to the light, I open my heart and soul to virtuous insight. And I pray, I pray, I pray, I pray for industry. For industry alone can justify me. Industry alone can justify me. I'm Thomas Jefferson, I'm here. I'm here to greet you, and you'll find me so attached to freedom of the mind. I exercise my own, and I invariably find that government can't control speech. Unless I'm president, I practice what I preach. The goal to limit federal powers occupies my waking hours. I'll roll them back with frontal attack, except when I expand them from the rear. I'm Thomas Jefferson, I'm here. I'm Thomas Jefferson, I'm here, declaring independence, and I'm quite sincere. These goals define us every hour. Liberty, equality, and limited power. By limiting power, we'll extend the freedom and equality of poor white men. The freedom of the rest, I repeatedly attest, we'll expand in the future at a time that's best. When I reflect that God is just, I'm full of fear. I'm Thomas Jefferson, I'm here. If Jeffersonian you'd be, have faith in the dictates of our democracy. By optimistically inclined, detect steady perfection of the human mind. All error we must tolerate, while reason remains free to set it straight. The blood of tyrants and patriots fine must refresh the liberty from time to time. The path of truth leads straight to me, to Jefferson and liberty. I sit upon a cliff beside the sea and watch the sun arise above the waves. I hear the seagulls singing peacefully and feel the wind that tossed the ancient graves. Sun blazing through the clouds astonishes me. I feel the light that everybody craves. waves. Each sunrise when I watch the day begin, I liberate the sacred light within. Each sunrise when I watch the day begin, I liberate the sacred light within. Each sunrise when I watch the day begin, I liberate the sacred light within. I did but prompt the age to quit their clogs, banishing their monkish superstition, abandoning the church and synagogues that laugh the earnest seeker to derision. The eternal truth, like casting pearls to hawks, concealed in those who seek another's vision. Cast off the dogma and you'll soon begin to liberate the sacred light within. Each sunrise when I watch the day begin, I liberate the sacred light within. Each sunrise when I watch the day begin, I liberate the sacred light within. Last night you asked me to write a song about carrying out your resolutions. I wrote it this morning when I got out of bed while carrying out my ablutions. I've done what I've resolved when you asked last night, and I said I'd just do it. And since I've just done what I said, I certainly don't rue it. Just resolve to do what you should, and then just do what you resolve. Just carry out your resolutions instantly. When you've just done what you resolved, then every problem solved. You've just mastered yourself with industry. I really should eat less. Do it. I really should write more. Do it. I really should get out of bed ASAP. Just get out of bed, eat less and write more like you said, and then resolve to do more instantly. Just resolve to do what you should, and then just do what you resolve. Just carry out your resolutions instantly. When you've just done what you resolved, then every problem solved. You've just mastered yourself with industry. I really should work out. Do it. I really should break out. Do it. I really should write a book and a song today. I just wrote my song, and soon before dawn, I'll just work on my book. It's the only way. I'll just work on my book. It's the only way. Right. I pray, I pray, I pray. I'm Alexander Hamilton. I'm better than Thomas Jefferson. I'm better than Adams and Madison. I'm better than Burr and Jay. Along with General Washington, I won the Battle of Trenton, a surprise attack on the Hessians beginning on Christmas Day. After midnight, cross the Delaware land in sight. By the morning, Hessians in disarray. I'm a hero, shooting a cannon throughout the snow. Cease doth fear, the Hessians surrender and pray. The victory trumpet sounds, America rebounds. The bravery of our plan, acclaimed across the land. With drum and fife, the battle strife, held all my life till Judgment Day. Along with Jemmy Madison, I drafted the Constitution, a more perfect solution to rebels like Daniel Shays. I favored life tenure for presidents, a permanent Washington residence, and also life tenure for senators, hence a Congress that's here to stay. After the convention, wrote the Federalist, #1 nationalist, launched the bank at the Treasury in a day. Fought with Jefferson, came a cropper that's perfect and proper, brought with Adams, Madison, Burr, and Jay. The fatal shot resounds, and Aaron Burr rebounds. A would-be Caesar appeared in just the way I feared, since Burr's arrest at my behest, what Caesar's repressed, the USA. Security is an illusion. We won't find it when we pray. And when I see confusion, I'll look for it in a day. 'Cause I know nothing, I feel everything, I sing something, I kneel for nothing but wisdom and beauty and joy in the threes around me, and harmony and pity and compassion for those around me. Security is an illusion. I won't find it when I pray. Futurity is an illusion on being present in the day. Oh, the beauty of the world when you're in nature. Oh, the beauty of the world when you're at peace. It's the duty of the world when you're in nature to take yourself to the quiet place. Oh, the pleasures of the world when you're in nature. Oh, the measure of the world when you're at peace. It's the treasure of the world when you're in nature. I'll take my harmonies and wrap 'em up like a golden fleece. This is the end of earth. I am content, said John Quincy Adams. His head was bent, his eyes were tightly shut, but they could see the divine light that night that inspired and hardwired him to fight for liberty. This is the end of earth. I am composed, said John Quincy Adams, because he knows he's worked his whole life for self-mastery, so that no man can another man's master be. All men must be free to peace and liberty. John Quincy Adams was walking by the river. The sky was dark, but his mind was light, glowing with the fervor. And when the sun came up, he wrote a poem, imagining the sequel when freedom glowed equally in every mind and home. Who but shall learn that freedom is the prize man still is bound to rescue or maintain, that nature's God commands the slave to rise, and on the oppressor's head to break the chain. Roll years of promise, rapidly roll round, till not a slave upon this earth is found. There's lots of questions about love. I know. Does it come from inside or from above? I know. But whatever the question, I know, love's the answer. If you want to know the truth of the matter, I know. Whatever the question, love's the answer. Love's the answer. 'Cause love conquers hate and helps us calmly meet our fate, and love heals our pain. It cools and calms like the morning rain. Love isn't a state of perfect caring. I know. It can be a struggle to keep your bearing. I know. Oh. But even when you're staring at the ones you love, just the way they are and not an image from above, You always know the answer to all questions that I know of. Love's the answer. If you want to know the truth of the matter, I know. Whatever the question, love's the answer. Love's the answer. When you're addressed, apply this three-part test before you speak in reply. And whenever you're moved to chastise or reprove, examine the reasons why. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Only speak when it's necessary. Silence is golden is the name of this song. Sing it in your mind, it's not very long. And after you croon this silent tune, here's a rule you'll be ready to apply. Silence is golden, so hold your tongue. Think before you speak. So while you're holding your smoldering gun, try this swell technique. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Only speak when it's necessary. Silence is golden, so hold your tongue. Think before you speak. Your friends, but not God, may find it odd that you think before you speak. The pregnant clauses before your clauses will mark you as unique. But although when you're in flow, some will interrupt you, keep your cool and don't let them disrupt you. Silence is golden, it's just the only way. Take your time in composing what you want to say. And before too long, just like I composed this song, you'll have mastered your self-composing technique. Silence is golden, so hold your tongue. Think before you speak. So hold your holding your smoldering tongue. Try this swell technique. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Only speak when it's necessary. Silence is golden, so hold your tongue. Think before you speak. Think before you speak. My morning devotion is unto the sun. I'm composing myself and my song. I'm feeling all feelings to connect to the one and set aside the feelings that are wrong. The feelings I cultivate are temperate and calm. My witness is a glowing golden mean. The sunrise devotion is a golden balm, not in excess, but always in between. Here's a song of devotion, no need for a potion. A song of devotion with calming emotion. Here's a song of devotion, no need for a potion. A song of devotion with calming emotion. The sky is glowing with an orange glow. The orange sun is rising above the trees. I'll temper my elation, 'cause I always know the pleasures of sudden wonder cease to please. And now the sun is blazing like a fiery ball. With fortitude and justice I can feel it. With temperance and prudence I am feeling thee all. And with this song forever I can hear it. Here's a song of devotion, no need for a potion. A song of devotion with calming emotion. Here's a song of devotion, no need for a potion. A song of devotion with self-composed emotion. The pursuit of happiness means being a lifelong learner. The pursuit of happiness means learning every day. And I feel such happiness, you're a lifelong learner. Let's spend a lifetime learning together. It's the only way. Wondering just how to spend your life, stop wondering and take and read a book. When you're pondering just how to spend your life, stop pondering and take a closer look. You can't control the turns of fortune or of fate. The only thing you can control is your thoughts and deeds. So read a book and you'll wake up every morning. You'll feel great. You'll feel you seized control of your life proceeds. The pursuit of happiness means being a lifelong learner. The pursuit of happiness means learning every day. And I feel such happiness that you're a lifelong learner. Let's spend a lifetime learning together. It's the only way. It's the only way.
Hello, friends, and welcome to 12 Titans. So this cycle tells the story of the Greek gods and goddesses. And I was moved to write it because the founders surrounded themselves with figures from Greek mythology, and I always have trouble keeping them straight. James Madison had a bust of Athena on his mantelpiece at Montpelier, and Jefferson had a statue of Ariadne in the central entrance hall of Monticello, gazing at the busts of himself and Alexander Hamilton. And my new book on the pursuit of liberty tells the story of how when Hamilton dies, Jefferson places his bust across from his own in the central entrance hall of Monticello, and when he was old, he would pass it and smile and say, opposed in life as in death. And that, well, exactly, but it shows that he viewed Hamilton not as a hated enemy to be destroyed, but a respected adversary to be debated with, and that's exactly what we've got to return to today. Now, I'm not the first person who's had the idea of setting the gods and goddesses to music. Many consider the first opera of all times to be Daphne. It was composed in 1597 by the Florentine Camerata, and their mission was to set Greek drama to music. That was followed in the 17th century by Monteverdi's Orfeo in Italy and by Purcell's Sublime, Dido and Aeneas in England. In the 18th century, Handel's marvelous operas and oratorios, which the founders heard, were set to biblical or classical themes, including Semele and the choice of Hercules, which was the myth that John Adams first proposed for the Great Seal of the United States. In the 19th century, Offenbach's greatest operettas included Orpheus in the Underworld and La Belle Hélène, and as it happens, the first collaboration by my heroes, Gilbert and Sullivan, was called Thespis, or The Gods Grown Old. Unfortunately, the show was not a runaway hit, and most of Sullivan's music has been lost. Now, my goal is always to write catchy tunes, and the 12 songs in this cycle have a Gilbert and Sullivan feel. I became addicted to G&S as a young kid. By the age of 13, I'd more or less memorized the lyrics and music for their 13 surviving shows, which are still jangling around in my head. For most of my life, I've been slightly embarrassed by my love for G&S because of the condescending attitude toward their shows by classical music snobs. But a few months ago, I was thrilled to discover that my classical music guru, Dave Hurwitz, editor-in-chief of ClassicsToday.com, had posted a video calling Sullivan's England's greatest composer. Now, Dave's enthusiastic YouTube videos, which you've got to check out if you haven't seen them, he began posting from his basement 3 times a day during COVID. They've opened up a world of deep listening to me and thousands of other music lovers. And Dave offered 2 reasons for his claim. First, Gilbert and Sullivan represent the most perfect combination of words and music in the English language. And second, Sullivan's music is unmatched in conveying joy. I wanted to share some joy in this podcast about the pursuit of happiness because trying to spend every day practicing those classical virtues of industry and resolution and calm self-mastery isn't exactly a barrel of laughs. There's a wonderful book, Surprised by Joy, by C.S. Lewis, and he distinguishes between 3 emotions: happiness, pleasure, and joy. Happiness is the pursuit of virtuous self-mastery, pleasure is the pursuit of immediate gratification, and joy is the pursuit of a connection with the divine. For me, that feeling of divine connection is most frequently expressed and shared through music. The first song is a musical version of the account of creation in Hesiod's Theogony. That sounds like an idea for a musical out of The Producers. I was inspired to write it while listening on the treadmill to the Katie Katie duet from Donizetti's Don Pasquale. The 2 guys are singing nonsense verse as fast as possible for the sheer joy of it. And that was the feeling I was trying to convey, so I could share it first with my wife Lauren and my boys Hugo and Sebastian, and now share it with you now. So with the great Jennifer Blyth at the piano, here's 12 Titans. Jen, just wait 1 second while I pull up the music, and here we go. Gaia was the Mother Earth. She loved Uranus and became his wife. All honor her, for she gave birth to all 12 Titans, the beginning of life. 12 Titan children, 6 gods and 6 goddesses of the light. Brother and sister, they married each other and brought more Titans into Gaia's sight. There's Oceanus and Chaos and Creus, Iapetus, Hyperion, Kronos and Phoebe and Themis, Thea and Rhea, Pneumosthene, Titus, 12 Titan children of Gaia. There's Oceanus and Chaos and Creus, Iapetus, Hyperion, Kronos and Phoebe and Themis, Thea and Rhea, Pneumosthene, Titus, 12 Titan children of Gaia. Hyperion, god of light, Titus, goddess of the light. Brother and sister married each other and gave birth to the sun and moon and dawn's early light. Chaos, god of intellect, Phoebe, goddess of intellect. Brother and sister married each other and gave birth to Leto, who gave birth to Apollo, god of constellation, Creus, goddess of death, Iapetus, goddess of justice, Themis, goddess of memory, Pneumosthene. There's Oceanus and Chaos and Creus, Iapetus, Hyperion, Kronos and Phoebe and Themis, Thea and Rhea, Pneumosthene, Titus, 12 Titan children of Gaia. There's Oceanus and Chaos and Creus, Iapetus, Hyperion, Kronos and Phoebe and Themis, Thea and Rhea, Pneumosthene, Titus, 12 Titan children of Gaia. Gaia was the Mother Earth. She loved Uranus and became his wife. All honor her, for she gave birth to all 12 Titans, all 12 Titans, all 12 Titans, the beginning of life. I hope everyone was paying attention. There will be a quiz at the end of the show. The truth is, I keep getting confused by the fact that there are 3 sun gods. Helios is the son of Hyperion, and Apollo is the son of Leto and Zeus. And here's a song to sort out the 3 sun gods, as well as the 3 goddesses of the moon and the dawn. And for extra credit, it includes a cameo appearance by the 3 Graces. So here is Apollo, Helios, and Hyperion. Apollo, Helios, and Hyperion, hail to the gods of the rising sun. Apollo, Helios, and Hyperion, hail to the gods of the rising sun. Hail, O sun, and shine your glory. Hail, O sun, and shine your glory. Hail to the sun, thy will be done. Hail to the sun, thy will be done. Hail to the first light, it's orange and bright. Hemera, Eos, and Electrion, hail to the goddesses of the dawn. Hemera, Eos, and Electrion, hail to the goddesses of the dawn. Hail, O dawn, and shine your glory. Hail, O dawn, and shine your glory. Hail to the dawn, hail with this song. Hail to the dawn, hail with this song. Hail to the daughters who shine on the waters. Aglia, Thalia, Pneumosthene, the 3 Graces, daughters of Zeus and Eurynomy, they give life its bloom. Splendor, mirth, and good cheer, grace and beauty in their faces. Dancing to Apollo's lyre, they sure can light up a room. Selene and Eos and Helios the sun, hail to the children of Hyperion. Hail Selene and Eos and Helios the sun, hail to the children of Hyperion. Hail, O moon, moon, and shine your glory. Hail, O moon, and shine your glory. Hail to the moon, Selene's coming soon. Hail to the moon, Selene's coming soon. Hail to the night, the moonlight is white. All right, now that we've settled out Apollo's parents, who are Leto and Zeus, it's time for a deeper dive into the amazing life of the god of music and light. Apollo was born on the island of Delos along with his twin sister, Diana. He promptly transformed himself into a dolphin, swam to Mount Parnassus, and after slaying a terrifying python, established his oracle in the temple at Delphi. She was known as Pythia, or the Pythoness, in honor of the slain python. Apollo spoke through her as she prophesied in a trance while sitting on a tripod and inhaling hallucinatory vapors. Here is Pythia. Long ago, the god Apollo found some Cretans and bid them follow. Reborn as a dolphin, he swam to a hollow carved in Mount Parnassus shore. There he'd slain the dreadful python, vapors, fumes, Cretans felt light on. They built their temple and got their white on, singing paeans to Apollo galore. Pythia, the oracle at Delphi, you prophesy what's wrong and right. You've got the vapors in the morning, you're on your tripod day and night. Pythia, the oracle at Delphi, some people call you the Pythoness. You sit on your tripod inhaling the vapors, predicting the future without reading the papers. Pythia, the oracle at Delphi, your prophecies are a big success. You channel the spirit of Apollo, divine possession you possess. Pythia, the Delphic oracle, feeling kind of allegorical, inhaled the fumes, got all metaphorical, speaking in tongues of ancient lore. When Pythia inhaled the vapors, hair stood on end like the skyscrapers. She certainly entertained the gapers. No one called her a sacred bore. Pythia, the oracle at Delphi, you prophesy what's wrong and right. You've got the vapors in the morning, you're on your tripod day and night. Pythia, the oracle at Delphi, some people call you the Pythoness. You sit on your tripod inhaling the vapors, predicting the future without reading the papers. Pythia, the oracle at Delphi, your prophecies are a big success. You channel the spirit of Apollo, divine possession you possess. Apollo's twin sister, Diana, was the goddess of the hunt and the moon. Sometimes she actually becomes the moon, which means she's easy to confuse with another one of the moon goddesses, Selene, who's Helios' sister. When John and Abigail Adams were courting, Abigail signed her letters to John Diana. But once the revolution started, Abigail changed her pseudonym to Portia, the fierce Stoic matron and wife of Brutus. I thought that a song called O Portia might be hard to pull off, so here's O Diana. chase the moon, and pretty soon, oh Diana, you are the moon, you're Selene. As Diana or as Artemis, your lady of wild things, chief huntress, your lover of the woods and the wild chase on mountains, you're amused. As Phoebus is the sun, you are the moon, called Phoebe or Selene, that's Luna or Loon. Your sister of Helios, the other sun god with whom Apollo sometimes confused. Oh, Diana, you chase the moon, and pretty soon, oh, Diana, you are the moon, you're Selene. And on the Cynthian mountain top, Niobe, Theban queen, inflamed your mother's spleen. She boasted she'd borne 14 children instead of only 2. Leto ablaze dispatched your rays. With your twin Apollo you all 14 children slew. You avenged with gore on Delian shore the island of your debut. Oh, Diana, you chase the moon, and pretty soon, oh, Diana, you are the moon, you're Selene. Abigail Adams, when she was in London, asked Thomas Jefferson, who was in Paris, to buy her busts of Apollo, Diana, Athena, and Mercury, who she called the inventor of letters and god of eloquence. Mercury was most famous as the messenger of the gods. He presided over commerce and luck, and he also conveyed souls to the underworld as a psychopomp. He always carried a special staff with 2 serpents wrapped around it, known as a caduceus, and I wrote this song so I could remember the definition of psychopomp and caduceus in case anyone ever asks. Here is Mercury. Can we skip ahead? No, you know what? I've introduced Mercury too quickly. And in fact, we're going to stay in order. And after Diana comes Athena. Of course, it has to be Athena. So what can we learn about Athena? I have to look at my notes. No, let's keep in order because the goddesses go together and we must do them in order. So Athena is, I mentioned that she's the hero of James Madison, and she was also a hero to the 8-year-old Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was excited to discover tales of the gods and goddesses in the Flatbush Public Library. And RBG was especially drawn to Athena because she was the goddess of reason and justice who created a court to try Orestes for murdering his mother. When the jury divided, Athena cast the tie-breaking vote to acquit, exemplifying both law and mercy. So here is Athena. Athena, industry, wisdom, and war. Athena, goddess with helmet and spear. Your owl gives you industry all through the night. Your helmet and spear give you courage to fight. Your goddess of craft and philosophy, unwearying goddess of industry. Industrious craftsmen excel at your crafts. Industrious philosophers love wisdom from your shafts. You fight in the front, wise goddess of war. You favor the wise over brute strength and gore. You acquitted Orestes of murdering his mother. You sprang from the head of Zeus, your father.
In Athens, when the jury divided, your vote was the one that decided. Cast in the spirit of compromise. Your spirit is merciful, your judgments are wise. Athena, industry, wisdom, and war. Athena, goddess with owl and with spear. The light you shine in every season is the pure light of reason. The light you shine in every season is the pure light of reason.
Now, I'm sure you'll remember from the first song, 12 Titans, that the incestuous union of Gaia and Uranus produced lots of children. Gaia was upset by Uranus's mistreatment of some of them, and she called on her children to slay their father, who was also her husband and her son. Their son Kronos answered the call, but instead of slaying Uranus, he performed an extremely painful operation on his dad that resulted in the birth of Aphrodite, the goddess of love. For more of the excruciating details, here is Mighty Aphrodite.
Up from foam the breath of west wind bore her over the sea. Golden hours on wavering Cyprus shore her welcome activity. Dressed in robes immortal, she greets the gods with joyous festivity. Wonder seized by violet crowned Cytherea, love's divinity. Mighty Aphrodite, you rose from the foam, bubbling in the Cythrian sea. Uranus' son Kronos severed his manhood, the foam bubbled up into thee. One day Venus, pierced by Cupid's arrow, Adonis beheld. Love at her sight seized her to the marrow. His beauty excelled, she warned him to take care. He hunted a boar, but it slayed him with a gemini. His blood was changed into a windswept flower, the reddest anemone. Mighty Aphrodite, you rose from the foam, bubbling in the Cythrian sea. Uranus' son Kronos severed his manhood, the foam bubbled up into thee. Mighty Aphrodite, you rose from the foam, bubbling in the Cythrian sea. Uranus' son Kronos severed his manhood, the foam bubbled up into thee.
All right, well, now it's time for Mercury, and since you already know what a caduceus and a psychopomp is, here is a song to help you remember, in case you ever forget.
With wings, sandals, and hat, imagine that swift Mercury took flight to Apollo's lair. Lots of sunshine there, he brought this gift in sight. A tortoise shell laced up real well was his lyre for the god. In exchange, Apollo gave the caduceus real crave, 2 serpents wrapped around a rod. Mercury with his caduceus, not on Vesuvius, Aventine Hill, built his temple all salubrious. Impecunious wasn't his drill. For he's the god of thieves and tricksters, of commerce and luck, fleet-footed messenger, the traveler's compass. He carried Morpheus's dreams from Somnus Valley, it seems, to sleeping humans, and he's Rome's psychopompus. As a psychopomp, he loves to romp, leading newly departed souls. Like the water nymph Laura, who told Juno that Juturna was cheating with Jupiter, God knows. In the underworld, shady Mercury sees the lady, though her glances said, "Take me home." She conceived the Lares, those divine twin fairies, has all deities for Rome. Mercury with his caduceus, not on Vesuvius, Aventon Hill, built his temple all salubrious, impecunious wasn't his drill. For he's the god of thieves and tricksters, of commerce and luck, fleet-footed messenger, the traveler's compass. He carried Morpheus's dreams from Sunless Valley, it seems, to sleeping humans, and he's Rome psychopompous. To sleeping humans, and he's Rome psychopompous. The gods and goddesses have the ability to intervene in human affairs, but our fates are determined by the three sisters, known as the three fates, who don't intervene. Instead, they spin the thread of life when we're in the womb, they measure it to determine how long we'll live, and they cut it at the moment of our death. Here is the three fates. Cloto the spinner, Lachesis the allotter, Atropos the inevitable sisters three. You spin the thread of life, then you measure and you cut it. What's the fate for me? Cloto the spinner, you spin the thread of life. You start spinning in the womb relentlessly. The Romans call on you in the 9th month of pregnancy. They call you 9th accordingly. Cloto the spinner, Lachesis the allotter, Atropos the inevitable sisters three. You spin the thread of life, then you measure and you cut it. What's the fate for me? Lachesis the allotter, the disposer of lots. You assign me a thread that's my destiny. You measure the thread against the laws of the universe. You don't intervene in what happens to me. Cloto the spinner, Lachesis the allotter, Atropos the inevitable sisters three. You spin the thread of life, then you measure and you cut it. What's the fate for me? Atropos the unturnable, she who can't be turned. You determine our time of death inexorably. You cut the thread with your abhorred shears, then we're off to the underworld, inevitably. Cloto sings of the things that are. Lachesis sings of the things that were. Atropos sings of the things that are to be. Am I bound for Elysium, Tartarus, or Asphodel? Hey sisters, what's my destiny? Now it's time for a paean, or a song of praise to Apollo. In Homer, Paean was the physician of the gods, and Paean also became a nickname for Apollo in his role as the god of healing. Homer's famous Paean to Delian Apollo calls him Phoebus Apollo, after his grandmother, the Titaness Phoebe, who you'll no doubt remember is the goddess of intellect and prophecy. I wrote a lot of these songs at sunrise, and one morning the sunrise was so beautiful that I took the liberty of addressing Apollo as Phoebus A. Here is Apollo's Rising. Apollo's rising, and it's clear. Apollo's rising, Apollo soon will be right here. Hey, Phoebus, hey, you're the god of the sun in the sky. Hey, Phoebus, hey, you are second to none, you're second to none in my eye. I can't admit the way I feel each time I see you rise, 'cause every time you make it real, I feel a kind of surprise. Apollo's rising, and I find Apollo's rising in my mind. Hey, Phoebus, hey, when you're rising at dawn, I feel it's a kind of rebirth. Hey, Phoebus, hey, when you're setting at dusk, I feel like you're sinking in earth. And when I see Apollo rise, I feel like rising too. And now I'll finish up this song so I can sing it out to you. Apollo's rising in the sky. Apollo's rising to my eye. So the three fates determine what will happen to us, but Dame Fortune, goddess of luck, determines what does happen to us. She is fickle and spins her wheel of fortune more or less at random. Although she's often blindfolded and impervious to charm, she favors the brave. In Old Norse, hap means chance or luck, and that's the source of an older definition of happiness in Samuel Johnson's dictionary, meaning good luck or fortune. Johnson's main definition, though, is felicity, state in which the desires are satisfied, which can only occur through virtuous self-mastery. With apologies to Frank Lesser and Marlon Brando, who sang Luck Be a Lady in the movie of Guys and Dolls, here is Dame Fortune. They call you Dame Fortuna, they call you Lady Luck, but whatever the heck they call you, your moods are fickle and moonstruck. Sometimes you're smiling on me, then you take it all away. Give me a break, Dame Fortune, let's make today my lucky day. Give me some luck, Dame Fortune, spin your revolving wheel. Whether it's cold or scorching, who knows how you're gonna feel. You're a capricious lady, today you're smiling on my fate, but tomorrow when the weather's shady, you'll be frowning at the pearly gate. Give me some luck, Dame Fortune, take off your blindfold for this appeal. You're so cold when I flirt or flatter, it's time for you to make it real. You favor the bold, Dame Fortune, and the virtuous who know right from wrong. So give me a break, Dame Fortune, I got up early to complete this song. Give me some luck, Dame Fortune, my song's falling on deaf ears. You'll spin your wheel regardless, at some point it'll end in tears. Right now I've got your favor, but eventually I'll hit a hole. So instead of begging you for a waiver, I'll make my own luck, which is under my control. I'll make my own luck, which is under my control. When Ken Burns and I were recording our amazing conversation for the Pursuit podcast, Ken told me that the root of the word enthusiasm, enthusiasmos, means divine possession or the God within. Ken has the divine inspiration of enthusiasmos, and with the help of a song, all of us can try to have some enthusiasmos too. So here is enthusiasmos. Hey there, hello friends, listen to me, 'cause I've got something to say. And just as important as the words of this song is my enthusiastic way. Enthusiasm's interest or excitement for a cause. Let's put enthusiasm to the test. And now I'm gonna tell you what enthusiasm means and why, when it possesses you, you're blessed. Enthusiasmos, it's having God within when you're inspired or possessed by him or by the light, 'cause God within is light when you're divinely possessed by pure insight. God within, enthusiastic. The gods above are more scholastic. The God within is so elastic. The gods above, ecclesiastic. When God's within, you feel fantastic. The gods above make you scholastic. These words in your heart with which I charge you this day, impress them on your children when you sup. Inscribe them on your soldiers' home and when you're away, when you lie down and you get up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and let them serve as frontlets between your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, or sing this enthusiastic reprise. Enthusiasmos, it's having God within when you're inspired or possessed by him or by the light, 'cause God within is light when you're divinely possessed by pure insight. When you're divinely possessed by pure insight. In his astonishing correspondence with Thomas Jefferson at the end of their lives, John Adams recognized that the moral teachings of the Jewish, Christian, and ancient religions could be summed up in two principles that Adams concluded Pythagoras had learned from the Hindu Vedas. God is one, and love God and all his works. Adams summed up those principles in a single sentence: rejoice in all things. That was Adams' version of the Universal Creed, and here's mine. I wrote it at sunrise one morning, reflecting on the fact that people had been gazing at the same sunrise every morning since the beginning of time. Here's Divinity is One. The Egyptians near the rolling Nile beheld the sun above the sandy plain. It burned in times of joy and times of trial, in feast and famine, and through drought and rain. The glory of the sun, the glory of the sun. Divinity is one, divinity is one. Osiris governed death and rain. The goddess Isis raised their warrior son. Horus, who brought order from pain. Ra was god of fire and sun. The Aryans on the Caspian plain beheld the sun 4,000 years ago. They felt its majesty and felt its pain, rising over the steppes below. The glory of the sun, the glory of the sun. Divinity is one, divinity is one. Mithra was the god of rain, Mazda god of wisdom's lyre. Indra's wars brought order from pain, Agni was the god of fire. Spirit's a universal force. It glows within the earth and winds and sun, the rhythms of the sacred source. Unite all people, and thy will be done. The glory of the sun, the glory of the sun. Divinity is one, divinity is one. We have one encore, if we may. James chose it. It is a song called Freedom from the musical Shenandoah, and it's just the perfect choice. I remember it when I was a kid. It's an incredibly catchy tune, and the refrain sums up the wisdom of all the happiness songs, which is that freedom's in the state of mind.
Like Maine or Virginia, freedom ain't a from county line. Freedom is a flame that burns within you. Freedom is the state of mind. Freedom, 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 freedom. Freedom is a flame that burns within you. Freedom is a state of mind. Ba 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 ba.
Freedom ain't a boat that's leaving without you. Freedom ain't a place you float to find. Freedom is the how you think about you. Freedom is the state of mind.
Freedom, 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 freedom. Freedom is the how you think about you. The state of mind. You can't get to freedom by riding on a plane. You can't believe your freedom is right on through your brain. Whoa, 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 whoa. Freedom is a notion sweeping the nation. Freedom is the right of all mankind.
Freedom is the body's imagination. Freedom is the state
of mind. Freedom, 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 freedom. Freedom is an ocean sweeping the nation. Freedom is a body's imagination. Freedom is a full-time occupation. Freedom is the state of mind.
Greg, come up. join us for a reception outside. Thank you so much, friends.